Good morning, everybody. This is your host, Scorpion LXB Sports, coming at you today with some horrible news out of Cleveland of Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade. The focal point of the Browns defense has requested a trade, and it's all the Haslam's fault. It's everyone's fault. It's Deshaun Watson's fault. Everyone's accountable. Every person in this building is accountable. He doesn't believe we can win a Super Bowl. Who could blame him? This team is in shambles, and your best player wants to go. And not even your best player on the team, the best defender we've ever had wants to go. Seriously? Losing him would be the worst thing for this god-fucking team. The worst thing ever to happen to this team. Worse than 0-16, worse than Hugh Jackson, worse than all the bullshit with Watson, all of that. Because the silver lining of all of these things was you had a promising player in Myles Garrett. A defensive player of the year candidate this year, might win it, has a good chance, and he wants out because this team is a fucking mess. Kevin Stefanski this year couldn't coach Atlanta a fucking paper bag. Andrew Berry hasn't had a first round pick thanks to that fucking cocksucker in Watson. It is so infuriating! And I'm sorry to start this episode so hot, but I am so beyond frustrated because the news just dropped. And the sports world is already flipping itself on its head with Luka Doncic getting traded, and Levine getting traded, all that going on, and De'Aaron Fox, that whole thing. And then I get this in the morning just saying, Myles Garrett officially wants to trade because he wants to compete for a Super Bowl, which I do not blame Myles Garrett in the slightest, because this team has done the city dirty, it's done him dirty, it's done everyone fucking dirty. If they trade him, they better get at minimum 3 first-round picks. This should be the fucking Herschel Walker trade, but in the reverse for the Browns. Because the Browns had the fucking Herschel Walker trade with Deshaun Watson. You either trade him to a fucking contender for 3 first-round picks minimum, or you keep him on the team and give him as much money as possible because he's the only person on this team that's worth a fuck of anything. The only player to have double-digit sacks his first 8 fucking years for this team. Or is it 8? I don't know. I don't know if it's 8. I don't think he's been in the league that long. Does not matter. Get out of here, update. I don't care. Why? Why? Why can us Browns fans never be happy? Seriously, I barely watched the season this year after the Raiders game. I didn't care at that point. I'm sure you probably saw it in my video quality. This team fucking sucks, but the only silver lining that you had was Myles Garrett was a freaking nature. And now he wants out. I blame everybody. The only way that you can make this better is if you give him the most amount of money to a non-quarterback in NFL history right now, Barry, Haslam, pick up your fucking phone and sign him now. Or trade him for 3 first-round picks to get us out of this fucking hole that Deshaun Watson's made us. Because he is just terrible. And this whole team is falling apart because of that fuck. I'm sorry I'm using all the language today, but I'm so frustrated. This is beyond frustrating as a Browns fan. Because we have lived through 0-16. We lived through the entire Hugh Jackson era. We lived through the Freddie Kitchens experiment. Hell, we lived through so many years of just this team just puking on itself, you know, shitting the bed. You know, we've lived through so much of this shit, and this is the worst of it. Because the silver lining of all of it was we have Myles Garrett, and that's okay. We won't even have that. Who's going to be the focal point of the defense? Denzel Ward? He's hurt most of the year. I love Denzel Ward, but he's always hurt. Koromoa, there's questions about him even playing. He's going to be all Ryan Shazier. What do we do? Like, who wants to fucking come here? The only reason I think people want to come here is Myles Garrett. I think that's why Clowney wanted to be here. That's why Obo wanted to be here. That and money. Well, guess what? If you don't have Myles Garrett, you're not going to get the best premium players, because guess what? You're going to have the money. Oh, wait. No, you don't, because Deshaun Watson has $230 million contract. If you trade Myles Garrett, you're getting Abdul Carter in the draft. End of story. I don't want to hear a fucking thing about these quarterbacks. Oh, Cam Ward could change the franchise. Oh, Ja'Marr Chase could change the franchise. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. You win in the trenches. You win in the trenches. That's how this team wins. That's how the teams operate. Why do you think why do you think Caleb Williams had it down here? The trenches suck. The trenches are terrible. You need to get offensive line and you need defensive linemen. Especially if Garrett goes. I mean, this is terrible. I'm hoping to God that they just sign him to a NBA style max extension, 5 years, something, and just there you go. 5 years, $200 million right now. I don't care, because this dude is worth every penny. Way more worth it than the freaking idiot who might not even play because of his stupid TikTok dances under center. The guy who we thought was going to change the franchise, myself included, I'm an idiot. No. Because he's now as a setback, can't fucking play. Hopefully his insurance clause, or his injury clause, our injury clause, gets him off this fucking team. Kirk Cousins this shit, draft 2 quarterbacks, get Abdul Carter in the first round. I don't give a fuck what it takes. Make this team do something. Stop sitting on your fucking hands and letting the good players go. You cannot let Myles Garrett walk. You can't do it. And if you do let him walk, then this will be a detriment on your franchise, and he's going to wreck the league wherever he goes. I don't care if he goes. He can go to the Rams. He can go to the Ravens. He's going to go to the Steelers probably. He'll go to the Bills. You know, any of those teams, and he'll wreck everything. He's going to dominate the league like he's done since he's been here as a goddamn rookie. He has dominated everybody. He is always in the top 100. He's always up there, right on that upper echelon. And all the Steelers fans come at me and say, oh, well, J.J. Watt's better than this, J.J. Watt's better than that. Myles Garrett had nothing for the majority of his career. Nothing! Well, T.J. Watt has had Cam Hayward, he's had Alex Highsmith for the majority of his career, he's had help his whole career. Myles Garrett has had nothing! Nothing! I want to be positive, guys. I really do. I want to be positive. I try and look at the positives in every situation in this team, in this franchise. Because, I think overall I like Stefanski. I've liked Barry overall. I don't mind this regime as much as years past, but, I mean, it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. Like, after seeing that, I feel defeated. I feel defeated. And if they hopefully don't, but if they do trade him, this team is going to sit on its hands and do nothing for another decade. I might as well just, do nothing and just move on to, like, gaming or something, because there's going to be nothing to talk about. Nothing. There will be nothing to talk about. Because this team is going to be a mess. It already is a mess. We're like that. We're that slop that people in jail get. It's like that mystery slop. No one knows what it's made out of. Or that. And Myles Garrett is the it is like that, the sweet delicacy, like a candy bar. He's like he's like a Snickers bar, and like the whole rest of the team is like black licorice. Just terrible. Besides a few players, but Myles Garrett requesting a trade is just the worst. This is the worst news to come out of Berea in a very long time. The only thing that can make this somewhat good is if you can get a premium quarterback out of this or something. Like you trade Myles Garrett and you get like a quarterback and like a few picks. It's the only way this makes it work, because you're not getting anything out of your defense anymore if you trade him away. You're just not. This defense, who has the potential to be a top 10 unit, will be bottom 5 in the league. It's true. It will. Because without Myles Garrett getting the double teams or the triple teams, you're having, albeit young players, having to step up more than they have to. You're putting them, it's a moth to the flame. It's a sheep to the wolves. It's not going to work. Like, these young players need development and they need mentoring, and you have that with Garrett and you have that with Jim Schwartz. If you let him go, he can't mentor anybody on this team. And, McGuire I liked last year. I like Alex Wright if he stays healthy, but you need a focal point on defense. Like, why do you think the Chiefs are so good? They have Chris Jones. That's their focal point on defense. Every team has a defensive player that's a beast. Even the Titans, they have Jeffrey Simmons. That dude's a beast. Like, every team has those guys. And if you let Myles Garrett go, the Browns won't have that. The two best players on defense that we have right now, other than Myles Garrett, are Denzel Ward and Koromoa. And again, like I said earlier, Koromoa might not even play. And I don't mean play the season, I mean ever. There's a chance. And then Denzel Ward, who misses a whole bunch of games due to concussion protocol. Like, it's a joke. This team's a fucking joke. This team's such a joke. I'm going to need to find another team to root for after this. This is terrible. Guys, that'll do it today for your host, Scorpionella XP Sports. Sorry for all the yelling and swearing. At least I'll bring some passion. You guys have a good one, and you guys stay safe. Peace out.